Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on the Monday after a holiday weekend.
Woo.
I'm Tim Pham. We're back.
We're back, everybody. We're all here in the same boat together.
Yes.
I think on this Monday morning. Pour an extra cup this morning. Trust me, you're going to need it. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick, though, is out today. Nicole Hernandez is in for him, bringing a lot of good vibes and a lot of cold.
A lot of cold.
Come on now.
Like, you do good vibes and cold at the same time?
We got to blame it on someone.
Yeah, we do.
No, we've all been complaining about how cold it is. Walking in this morning, I did not have enough layers on. So my one tip for you, grab all the layers you can. It is very chilly outside, and I don't mean just a little bit. It's 26 degrees outside. It is so cold. Still dark this morning as well, which never helps in the warm department. Good news, it is pretty clear, so the sun is going to be shining today, which always helps when it's this cold. Across the region, though, we've got some spots in the 20s, some spots in the 30s. I'm going to explain later why we're seeing some spots like Spokane actually cooler than places like Sandpoint, but for now, as we warm up through the rest of the day, you can see some of that little bit of cloud cover. Sunshine definitely going to come through, though, with highs in the low to mid 30s, depending on where you're at.
All right, 6:02 here. Breaking this morning, Washington State Patrol issued an Amber Alert for Emma Laudal. She is 14 years old. You see there on the left side of your screen there. Emma was last seen on Friday in Pasco, Washington with 35-year-old Roger Perez Ozario. Anyone with information should contact the Richland Police Department. They are believed to be traveling in a blue 2006 Honda Civic with an Oregon license plate. Tracking tomorrow, the results of the 2023 general election are set to be certified.
It's now been several weeks since the general election, but the projected winners in each category have been known for some time. The biggest race on the ballot this year was the race for Spokane mayor. Nadine Woodward officially conceded to candidate Lisa Brown on November 13th after Brown maintained a sizable lead each time results were released. At last check, Brown received 52% of votes, while Woodward received just 48%. Now, several other important races will be certified this week as well, including the race for Spokane City Council President. Over the weekend, Betsy Wilkerson was sworn in as the City Council President. Wilkerson is the first woman and first person of color elected to this position. Wilkerson has maintained the lead over Kim Pleas since Election Day. The results will be officially certified tomorrow.
Looking ahead now, Friday is the deadline for state prosecutors to turn over all investigative genetic genealogy material related to the case against Brian Kohberger. He is the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students 1 year ago. The judge wants to review the material to determine what needs to be turned over to the defense team. They are worried about how police built a family tree and linked Kohberger to the DNA on the knife sheath officers found at the house. They say they need the information to get their defense ready for trial, but the prosecution says they didn't use the genetic family tree to get any warrants, and they won't be using it as evidence in the trial.
Today, the man accused of killing a family of 4 in Kellogg is expected to be back in court. Prosecutors say 31-year-old Major John Kaler admitted to shooting and killing his 4 neighbors in June. He also accused the oldest son in that family of lewd conduct in front of Kaler's young children. Kaler is expected to be in court at 2:45 this afternoon for a pretrial hearing. This will allow the judge to check in with both sides to make sure that they are ready to go to trial. Now, the trial is scheduled to begin in January. If convicted, Major John Kaler faces a maximum of life in prison.
It is 6:04. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. A body was discovered by a group of hunters in North Idaho yesterday. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office reports the group called it in just after 9:30 yesterday morning in the Twin Lakes area. Deputies say the remains may have been there for several months. The identity and cause of death are unknown at this hour. An investigation is now underway. This morning, Spokane police are asking for your help finding the person responsible for a hit-and-run crash. It happened on Saturday afternoon in the area of North Ash and West Everett, which is about a mile west of the Northtown Mall. One person was hurt in the crash, but they are expected to be okay. The suspect's vehicle is described as a silver 2013 to 2016 Nissan Altima that likely has damage to the front end. Anyone with information should call 911. Tracking Adams County this morning, ambulances took 5 people from Moscow to hospitals in both Othello and Richland after a serious car crash. It happened just after 10:30 Saturday night on State Route 26, about 4 miles west of Othello. The Washington State Patrol says the driver of the car lost control, went off the road, and ended up in a ditch. Troopers say none of the 5 people in the car had seatbelts on. They are also not saying if drugs or alcohol were involved. WSP is investigating the crash. Covering North Idaho this morning, the unemployment rate in Idaho was up slightly last month. The Department of Labor says the state's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate increased to 3.2% in October. So that's actually slightly up from 3.1% in September. The state's labor force also increased by about 1,900 people. October's unemployment rate was 0.4 of a percentage point higher than the same time last year. That is a look at your morning rush. Taking a look at your Northwest news this morning, we are tracking another security incident at the Echo Glen Children's Center in Snoqualmie.
3 teen inmates are expected to face new charges after they escaped the facility just last night, but police were able to capture them within 2 hours. This is the second time this year inmates escaped the facility. The latest incident involves a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, and 1 other teen inmate. Police found 2 of them on the grounds. A third was found in the woods near the campus. The King County Sheriff's Office says that they were transported to the King County Detention Center.
Well, we've been talking about how we're going to be cold for the next few days, but the other thing we're going to be is dry as well. So you can see right now, pretty much nothing going on our radar, just a little bit of here and there cloud cover, but you can even see the sun, or not the sun, the sky peeking through. Once the sun comes up, we'll be able to see the sun peeking through as well. We look forward to the next few days and it sticks like that, nothing all that exciting. Today we stayed dry enough to avoid some of the morning fog that we were potentially concerned about seeing, but for the next few days we do still have that chance for morning fog. We'll just kind of see how that plays out as we get to the mornings.